If you're a real person with real life responsibilities, there's a good chance that you live with this kind of low level, constant guilt about the state of your golf game. And you feel like because you can't practice for hours a day, that you don't deserve and you're not allowed to be good at golf. So then you cram 3 hours of practice into a random Saturday every month, but you just leave the course feeling frustrated and exhausted. So I'm going to walk you through the habits that can help you get better at golf even with a packed schedule. And all these habits stem from one simple principle: it's easier to stay ready than to get ready. I see overcoming improvement plateaus like building a fire in the rain. While it takes a good amount of energy to get that first spark going, once the fire is lit, now you just have to maintain strategically. But here's the mistake that most people make. They get this fire started, but they believe that that fire isn't good enough to continue keeping them warm, so they ditch that fire and go try to start another. This could be arbitrary swing changes, YouTube rabbit holes, or doom scrolling on Instagram for swing tips. And in all honesty, those things can be good, but if they aren't focused on helping you maintain or even grow this fire over here, then they're not useful. So let's focus on the fire we've already started, and we'll call these little habits twigs. Simple steps that you can do every single day to keep this fire growing without burning you out. Number one is to just roll putts every day. I'm not getting my full setup out every single time. I'm just simply rolling putts to a target. Now here's the reason that this works, and I'm gonna stumble over this a few times, is synaptic plasticity. Your brain strengthens connections based on frequency, not necessarily duration. So in order to maintain touch year round, putting for 5 minutes once a day is going to be much more effective than putting for 3 hours once a month. So by rolling a few balls every single day, I'm keeping that connection between my hands and my eyes warm. I'm not trying to spark a new fire, I'm just trying to keep the embers warm on my current one. Number two is I get the most out of every single time that I get to go hit a golf ball. Right now I'm doing this on a simulator because it's -9 outside right now, but all of this will apply to you if you're going to a range or if you're just hitting into a net at home. The key to getting the most out of your range sessions when your schedule is packed is structure. Most people, when they go to the range, are just kind of exercising. They're going to the range and hitting balls and getting loose. But improvement is fueled by training, and this means we need to go in with an intentional plan on how we're going to get better. So let's walk through my 1 hour simulator session this week. I started with a wedge ladder, which you'll notice is one of my favorite drills. Start at 50 yards and gradually work my way up to about 100, and then I'll gradually work my way back down. Then I grabbed a 6-iron and didn't really worry about where this ball was going. I was more focused on just making sure my body was moving. Then I hit maybe 5 drivers, and I was primarily just worried about staying on balance and making solid contact because the result of these drives was not consequential, whereas the drives that I was going to hit later in this practice session that you'll see are tracked and they do have consequences. This next 30-minute block was random practice from the Play Ready Golf app, and this is where most amateurs fail, is they don't know how to practice, and so we do just go out and randomly hit balls. But this is intentional random practice, which I know sounds like an oxymoron. This first drill is 18 random iron shots. I'm using the randomizer in the Play Ready Golf app, and then I'm tracking if I'm landing it within my allotted area or not. I want to talk about why I severely favor random practice over block practice for the majority of golfers. Block practice creates what we call a learning illusion. You feel good and you feel like you're getting better because the shots are getting better, but you're not actually getting any better because you're just getting in a groove and you're not solving a new problem with every shot like you would on an actual golf course. Moving over to my random practice for off the tee. In the app, you can see club 1, club 2, and club 3. Club 1 was driver, club 2 was one of my 3 woods, and club 3 was another one of my 3 woods. I was trying to figure out which one I like a little bit more. And then that second category is if I'm hitting a fade or a draw. But this was 18 random tee shots going through my full routine and then tracking if I was successful or not. Then with the remaining time, I just played 18 holes with no putting because putting on a simulator is garbage. Then called it a day. What I like most about these structured practice sessions is I know I'm going to get the most out of every single golf ball. I'm not going to be wearing my body out unnecessarily, and if I go hit actual range balls, I know what size bucket to buy. But we can look at each one of these intentional golf shots as another twig on the fire. We're not stoking this massive bonfire, but we're just continually keeping the fire burning, building up skills so that when we do move over to the golf course, we are ready to play golf. I sit at a desk for 40 hours a week, and I understand that that's going to impact my athleticism pretty severely. So I do two things to remain relatively athletic. I go to the gym 4 times a week, and these are not golf specific lifts. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but for me, I need as little friction between me and actually working out as possible. So I use an app called Push. This is not paid. I just really like what they do. Kind of similar to what we're trying to do, where they just build out a program based on the amount of time and the tools that you have available, and you just go do the workout. And to complement that, I walk a lot. I hate cardio. I do not enjoy running. I've done it. Not a fan. Walking for me does 2 things. Number 1, it's this low level constant cardio. And number 2, walking is shown to increase creative output, which for my 9 to 5 or for this or for anything else, that is an awesome benefit. This is also why I think I way prefer walking instead of riding in a cart when I go play golf if I get the opportunity to walk, but that's a whole nother topic. The first 3 habits are easy things to continue doing to improve at golf, but what about what not to do? The final habit is knowing when to stop. You poke at a fire too much, you ruin it. You throw too many logs on it and you smother it. I see so many golfers who during the week can't necessarily go play or practice, and so instead they think that it's better to doom scroll on Instagram or watch a bunch of YouTube videos or buy the latest training aid. And I am preaching to the choir here, okay? This is a very easy trap to fall into. But the problem is that you are searching for solutions to a problem that you don't even know if you have. It's like we're walking into a pharmacy and grabbing the drugs that we think are going to help us with a problem that we're not even sure if we diagnosed ourselves correctly. In order to avoid this and maintain your sanity, you just gotta have hobbies. Going to the gym is a great one. I go play basketball once a week. I've been watching more football recently just as something to do. All these things allow you to just step away and not obsess over golf, so that when you do come back to golf, you're super pumped. You're excited to get back to that fire and continue throwing on those little twigs. I am begging you, do not let the idea of a perfect fire force you to extinguish the fire that you already have. Getting better with a busy schedule and a 9 to 5 is not about outworking everyone, it's about not letting your fire go out. You have a choice. You can either be the weekend warrior who considers scrolling the internet as practice, and every single time that you step foot on a golf course, you're trying to reignite the flames of the fire, or you can be the timeless golfer who kept a watchful eye on their fire and continued making incremental improvements as opposed to being worried about the other fires out there. So throw a few twigs on the fire today, whether that's rolling a few putts or going for a walk. Let's just keep that fire burning. If you want that exact tool that I use to create my practice plans, the link is in the bio. And remember, easier to stay ready than to get ready.
If you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready.